Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're in Discord with friends. You're all playing your own games while spending time together, and then that one friend starts raging.
This game is so garbage!
Not in like a funny haha way either, but in a way where you could just tell that they're not having fun. So you ask them, why do you even play that game if you're not having fun with it? And of course they insist that they are. Are they just lying then? Or better yet, are they lying to themselves? The question that I had today is, why do people play video games that they clearly hate? And maybe you have an answer of your own, but I had a few different reasons that I wanted to explore. Maybe you have some friends who fall into these categories, or maybe you relate to some of them too. But I'm not going to waste any more of your time and jump into the first reason why people tend to hate the games they play, and that's because the game wastes their time. See, I only went with this reason first because it was a good segue. But there are plenty of games that just straight up wastes the player's time. One way is giant open world games that literally gatekeep you from moving on unless you do a long line of tedious side quests. One that comes to my mind is something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where story quests have recommended level thresholds. The problem is, you don't reach a high enough level to continue simply by doing only the main quests. So now you have to go out of your way to go cuck this old man by having sex with his wife. I don't know how I'm gonna level up from that, but yeah, man, I guess whatever, I'll just stick it to your wife real quick. But you gotta do like a dozen of these other side quests before you can even continue the game, and then you don't even remember where you left off in the story, and it just gets frustrating. And the reason why people even put up with these nuisances is because if you can just get past these annoying or uncomfortable moments, there's a good story or fun gameplay right after it. So although this isn't really an example where somebody's gonna throw their controller against the wall, I figured it was a good starting point and we'll ramp things up from here. So now let's get angry. If I were to ask you right now, which game has the angriest players? There are some very obvious answers, and half of them were made by Riot Games. Competitive games tend to bring out that side of people where if they lose, or things just don't go their way, they let out a bit of gamer rage. League of Legends, Valorant, Call of Duty, and many others have contributed to these moments. So much so that there have been accumulated montages of them all over YouTube. And if these type of games make people so angry, we return to the original question of, why do people play them then? And there's actually a pretty simple answer. And it's because they are actually having fun, just not every second of the time that they're playing. The draw of competitive games are the highs. Every time you go on a streak or pull off a great play or even win that competitive match, that's where the fun comes in. But of course, the highs only give a high if there are lows to balance it out. And those lows are dying a lot, losing by a huge margin, or getting completely and utterly outplayed. And of course, not wanting to admit it to yourself. Yeah, everyone's a cheater, you know? This actually mirrors the same endorphin activity as gambling, where you achieve high highs from hitting the jackpot and winning big, and the same lows as spending your last dime, and now you can't bring yourself to look at your wife in the eyes anymore. Sounds dreary, I know, but it's weirdly true. And I'm gonna build off of this point with another messy truth, which might be something you might not want to hear, but if you fall into this category, you definitely need to hear it. And that's the fact that some of these people really do hate these games, however, they can't bring themselves to stop playing because they're addicted. Many of these games are addictive by nature, and it's not by accident that they use expert sound design that not only brings immersion to the experience, but also boosts the happy juices in your brain when you hear them. Whether it's the dink headshot sound from Call of Duty, or the melodic scale that plays as your streak racks up in Valorant, these little tricks slowly draw you into wanting to feel that small hit again and again. It's similar to how this generation continuously scrolls social media just looking for that next dopamine hit. People will play these games for any small burst that they can get, whether they realize it or not. And they might genuinely hate the game, but unfortunately it might be one of the few places that they actually feel anything anymore. Okay, wow, that got kind of dark. But you know what? We're not done. We're digging a little deeper into the hole here. Because another reason why people play some games that they hate so much is because they've already dedicated so much time and money into them already. And if you've already dedicated so much to it, you might as well. This is textbook sunk cost fallacy. Webster's dictionary defines sunk cost fallacy as, wait, no, don't click off the video. Imagine spending $100 on the mega ultra deluxe edition of a game, only to play it for a few hours and realize it just wasn't the game you thought it'd be. This is an unfortunate reality for a lot of people. It could be something as little as spending $10 on a battle pass for an online game, and now you have to put in the time leveling it up, otherwise you've basically thrown that $10 away. Or how about the truly dedicated that spend thousands of hours to be among the top rated players in a game, and now they feel like they need to keep playing because they've already dedicated so much of their life to it already. And weirdly enough, this aspect overlaps another aspect of why people continuously play a game they hate, and that's because it's their job. I could probably pick out a dozen or so streamers and content creators who reach top 500 in Valorant or Overwatch and feel the need to keep streaming the game because if they played literally anything else, their audience wouldn't show up, and the ones that do might question why they're not playing that one specific game anymore. Though the one example that I think really hammers this point home was when Ninja quit Fortnite in 2021. The man made his money, so that means he could just play whatever he wants now, right? Well, after many months of trying out League of Legends to the lowest viewership he's had since his Halo days, he fell back into streaming Fortnite once again for a couple years. Now, don't get me wrong, he is much more popular than me and could still pull more viewers if he was just streaming his feet. Although I haven't tried that myself, so maybe I give that one a go. But on the flip side, it looks like he's strayed away from that again and is just back to playing whatever he feels like, so I'm wishing him all the best. And I know this is a rare case that only applies to a few number of people, so let's end this list with one more reason that I'm sure most all of us can relate to, and that is difficult games. These are the games that we love to hate and hate to love, or something like that. Pretty much any Souls-like game falls into this category, and it's pretty easy to see why.
What the
Picture this. It's June 21st, 2024, and Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC just came out. You spend a few hours exploring around and fighting a boss or two before you reach Messmer the Impaler. Aptly named because for the next 3 hours, that is all he will be doing to you. Attempt after attempt, you get a little frustrated, a little mad, and maybe even let out a
Oh my god!
But then you land the final blow and win the fight. Now, did you actually hate the game? Probably not. But we as humans have a natural ability to despise confrontation and the need to hone skills and practice until we master something. Especially in today's society where everything is streamlined for convenience, coming across anything in a video game that you can't complete on the first couple tries will inherently give you a reaction of hating it. But also built into the human psyche is that fulfillment we gain from completing a difficult task that we've worked so hard to achieve. So this could apply to any boss in any Dark Souls game, or really any challenge in any video game you find difficult. I can't tell you how many times I grew frustrated from the Watcher Knights fight in Hollow Knight, dying time after time until I finally got it. But after jumping that hurdle, I completed the game and now it's one of my all-time favorites. The idea of playing these games we hate is really just our moments of lashing out while we learn and grow, which makes the pinnacle of these experiences all the more worth it. Many of the titles in this category are critically acclaimed and considered some of the best of all time. But those are just the few reasons that I came up with and wanted to share with you guys. I came up with the idea for this video from my friend who is constantly raging in our Discord call about how he keeps dying in Battlefield, while the rest of us are just trying to watch Sunday football and looking for an answer as to why he's like this. So maybe it is one of the reasons that I suggested earlier, or maybe it's because he just likes being in pain. It's probably that one, honestly. And if there's a secret alternate reason that I forgot, feel free to leave it down in the comments too. Thank you for watching, like, comment, subscribe, click the videos on the screen, and I'm gonna go back to trying to beat Hollow Knight Silksong. I am stuck on this fight, and it sucks, and I hate it. Somebody give me tips for this fight. Please!